You've been asking for it, so here it is. A review of Alien Earth. I'm going to try not to do too many spoilers if you've not seen it, but there may be some spoilers ahead. Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
I've been telling you guys for a while that Alien Earth was going to be awesome. I may or may not have seen bits of it already. But the third episode dropped today, and I have to say, they don't disappoint. I'm actually really impressed with what Disney basically is doing with Alien and Predator at the moment. I thought, obviously, Prey was excellent. I'm really looking forward to Badlands. I thought Alien Romulus was excellent. And I actually thought Killer of Killers was very, very good as well. So everything they're doing with these two franchises at the moment is excellent. And I am hearing rumours that they are going to bring them together at some point. But for now, let's have a think about Alien Earth. I've written many notes. Scribbles, really, if you will. The first thing I'm going to say is the tone of this series is brilliant. And they didn't make the mistake that Star Trek did. What they've done here is they've pretty much matched all the technology and stuff, even though that technology now looks a little outdated. They've matched it to Alien and Aliens movies. In the starting sequence, it is excellent. You see the whole mother sequence, and you see the room with all the lights in it. It's very much 2001: A Space Odyssey as well, a little bit. What you see in the first Alien movie. The computer screens, flicker and flash like they did in Alien and Aliens. And they've not tried to be too clever with it. Star Trek, which I mentioned, they sort of went, oh, that technology's out of date now. We've got to modernise it and do this, this and this. And yes, to a point you do need to, or it feels a little silly. But they've not worried about it too much on this Alien Earth series. They've just tried to match it and get the feel of the original movies really down. And to be honest, they've done a very, very good job. The designs of the spaceship, the designs of all the internal spaces, etc., are spot on. There is a tone that really matches Alien and Aliens movies. At certain points in all three episodes, you're going to go, oh, that so reminds me of Alien. There's in the first episode in particular, it's the horror, it's the very enclosed spaces, it's the xenomorph hunting them down. In the second episode, it's a little bit more action-packed. They've got rifles that sound just like the rifles from Aliens as well, which I very much enjoyed. With the little, lighted panel saying how many rounds you've got left. I enjoyed that. But it's a little bit more action-packed. It's a little bit more Aliens. There's one scene in particular where one of the main stars, one of the androids, goes jumping through a hole basically in the wall. Again, I won't tell you too much, but it's very Aliens. It's very, when she goes, when Ripley goes to fight the Queen just towards the end, it feels very much like that. And I think that was very much on purpose. There's bits in all three episodes really that are supposed to make you remember different bits of the Alien franchise that Sigourney Weaver appeared in. There are a couple of really interesting castings in this. Ade Edmondson's in it, which if you're American, you probably won't know why I'm so excited about that. If you're British, you know. Ade Edmondson is an actor and comedian that's been around forever, and I love him in everything. He is a very funny guy. He did one of my favourite series when I was a kid called Bottom. He also did something called The Young Ones when I was a kid, and he played like a punk rocker, and his my favourite line from that is bored, 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 and then he hits somebody on the head with a cricket bat. He goes, even mindless violence seems boring today. I saw that when I was a kid. It stuck with me. It's still one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. The other bit of really good casting though is Timothy Olyphant. He is an actor that I have loved since basically like Die Hard 4. I didn't even hate him. It was the best thing in him. When they did the Hitman movie, he shaved his head for it, and he's actually really good in it. The film's not great. But if you've never seen Justified, why not? It's actually on FX. It's on Disney Plus as well. Go and watch it immediately. He's brilliant in it, but it's a really, really good series. And it actually spawned or started a lot of actors' careers. I can't remember his first name, but Gittins guy. He's really good in it, and he's gone on to, obviously, you'll know his face. The opening sequence of the first episode, I really liked it because it has flashes, right? And again, I'm not going to go too much into it, but it has flashes that sort of like kicks off the entire series, how they end up on Earth sort of thing. But they don't show too much, which is what I like. It's sort of like flashbacks, flash forwards. It's sort of like really weaved together. And it just shows you enough so that you know what's happened, but it doesn't show you more than you need to. It's not an origin story. It's not the first 15, 20 minutes of the first episode sort of thing. It just cracks on. You see the characters, you get a feeling of who they are, they get slaughtered, we end up on Earth. Boom, 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 done. It's just what they needed to do without doing too much or too little. I really, really appreciated that. We do get to see a little bit of the politics. I will say now that the main sort of company here is called Prodigy. I don't think it's a surprise that we've never heard about them in later incarnations of Alien sort of thing. They're not, Wayland Yutani. They're not Wayland Yutani. This is something different. And when you watch the third episode, you get a hint on why maybe they don't really exist later on. But the thing about the politics I like here is that this is really an example of big corporations sort of overtaking governments, which has been hinted at in previous movies, particularly Aliens, I think. That, and I mean, you could argue even today, some of the bigger corporations around the world are way more important than like 90% of the governments around the world. But this is really a world now that we've seen in lots of other sci-fi series over the years, but it's really a world, and a world that's been built by this series that we haven't really had a chance to do before in the movies, that is very much just about the corporations. The corporations run everything. They are in competition with each other like countries used to be. America, Russia, they're basically in like a Cold War conflict between each other. I think we're going to see a lot more of that as this season and future seasons go on. And I think it's really, really interesting to get really a universe building that maybe we haven't had other than maybe in the comics. I think that's really interesting. As I say, Timothy Oliphant's character in this played perfectly. The young lady that plays the main character, beautifully done. The story really centres around humanity's greed, humanity's ignorance, our self-inflated idea that we're, top of the food chain sort of thing, but also humanity's search for immortality. Everything from in the first movies, the reason why humanity was so interested in the xenomorphs was not just about creating a new weapon, which obviously it was, but it wasn't just about that. It was also about finding a future for humanity, a new direction. And that is sort of like boiled down in this series, that actually the point is to look for immortality. The whole thing with the main characters in this, the synthetics, I'm not going to go into too much about that, but once you've seen it, you'll know what I mean by they get a bit grating. Shazam, the first Shazam movie, the fact that Shazam was a child in an adult's body was kind of funny. In the second Shazam movie, it's just annoying. There's a little bit of that in this. As well, though, I like how they've expanded sort of the horror in this series, in that it's not just the xenomorphs we've got to worry about. There's actually 5 different species that this ship went and found on all the different planets that it had visited. Aggressive species. The horror isn't just about the xenomorph, even though it obviously is the top of the food chain. It's about these other creatures as well. They've really expanded the tension and the fear. I really like that. And talking about tension, all the way through all 3 episodes, you will be on the edge of your seat. You will be watching everything going, that's going to kill him. And then even when it's something you think, that won't kill him, it does. So they've been very imaginative in the way they've created these 5 species. But again, we've only really seen like 2. And, well, 3 if you call the xenomorph. There's a couple of others we haven't quite seen yet. It's another example of them holding back a little bit and making sure we don't get the money shot too soon. The production value is properly next level. It's what we come to expect from really good streaming series. I don't think we're going to get so much of this in the future. Disney seem to be the last ones that are really still spending silly money, but this is movie quality television. The production value and the use of between CGI and physical effects is beautifully done. You really can't see any sort of problems with the production value on that point of view. I think it's written very well, other than the androids that are a little annoying. I just think it's pitched perfectly to the tone, etc. of the series. The thing I feel I like most about this, they've really kept true to the original movies. We don't see that all the time nowadays. Star Wars, I think, has to a degree. Star Trek hasn't. So it's nice to see that they really are sticking to what they know best. And they're sticking to, again, the feel and everything of the original movies that we love so much. I think they've been very, very careful not to do anything that's going to annoy the really hardcore fans. And that is also refreshing to see. Yeah, I'm very looking forward to the 4th episode. This really feels like something a bit different, this series, and I'm very excited to see what they do next. I tell you what, after things like AVP, you did wonder if this franchises, or both of these franchises, were really going to disappear into nothingness. Now I'm actually genuinely excited about what's going to happen next in the universe of aliens and predators. But guys, get into the comments to what you think. Have you seen it yet? If you haven't, you really need to. And if you haven't seen it, is what I'm talking about, whetting your appetite and making you even consider the most evil of things, subscribing to Disney Plus. I know for some of you that is just not on the cards, but honestly, you are missing something quite brilliant. I would suggest, if you really, really don't want to watch anything else on Disney, wait for this season to end, get it just for a month, binge it, and cancel it again if you really need to. It's excellent. Get into the comments and tell me, though, exactly what you think either way. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. It really helps us out, and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can become a member of the channel and get to see a lot of these videos before everybody else. I've just noticed that has fallen down. I'm going to have to fix it as soon as this video is done. Please, as always, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.